Located in the heart of Malawi's lower Shire Valley lies a hidden gem, the Majete Wildlife Reserve. Covering 715 square kilometers and situated just 70 kilometers from Blantyre, Majete is rich in biodiversity and natural beauty. With the shimmering Shire River coursing through its landscape. Yet this sanctuary was once on the brink of despair. However, hope emerged in 2003 with a groundbreaking partnership between the Malawian government and a non-profit organization known as African Parks. Founded in 2000, African Parks set out to rehabilitate the continent's most threatened areas. Majete Wildlife Reserve would be their first major undertaking, an ambitious endeavor filled with challenges.
African Parks got involved in these 3 protected areas to help conservation of wildlife, to rehabilitate these protected areas. We started with Majete Wildlife Reserve in 2003. Majete was once a place that was run down completely and very degraded. African Parks came in and signed an agreement with Malawi government to manage Majete Wildlife Reserve for a period of 25 years. But African Parks as an organization, we specialize in rehabilitating protected areas that have been, in most cases, run down.
The African Parks started reviving the land by hiring law enforcement and providing them with capacity building training. They also put up infrastructure inside the reserve and a 144-kilometer fence, which would declare the place as a protected land and reduce human-wildlife conflict.
First of all, you want to make sure that you protect the area. In other words, stop all the illegal activities, all the environmental sins that are happening. And that is done by beefing up law enforcement, equipping law enforcement staff, and ensuring that the law enforcement staff are properly trained, well disciplined, and they are doing their job. So that was the first thing. And the second was to fence this protected area. So a fence, about 144 kilometers of it, was built to ensure that the animals that we later on, translocated to this park do not get out and cause problems to the people. So fencing was another thing. Also putting up infrastructure, because literally there wasn't any infrastructure to talk about here. So we needed to, build ranger camps, for instance. We needed to build some visitor facilities. We needed to construct roads, bridges, and name it. The transformation of Majete Wildlife Reserve is nothing short of remarkable. From a stark wasteland, it has blossomed into a flourishing sanctuary,
a testament to the future of conservation and commitment from dedicated individuals and organizations.
At the time, in 2000 to 2003, things were desperate. The wildlife had gone extinct on the landscape. There was very few birds left. People talk about walking in the bush and there were just spider webs. None of the spider webs were broken. And you could see there was just no more wildlife left. Logging had started, which we all know is a problem in Malawi. You still see some on the periphery of the reserve where they logged their hardwoods, the leadwood. It was a difficult landscape. AP then decided to take them on board and bring on some funders. So in 2003 it all started.
The reserve faced challenges, including environmental neglect, dwindling wildlife numbers, rampant poaching, and instability from regional conflicts.
We went through a very difficult time in the 90s where elephants and rhino were poached out, the lions were poached out. We had the Frelimo-Renamo War playing off in Mozambique, and a lot of that spilled over into Majete. Our closest boundary to the Mozambican border is about 5 kilometers. And a lot of that war spilled over into Malawi with people coming in and harvesting illegally ivory, because ivory was used to fund the war effort. So we lost our elephant, we lost our rhinos, we lost our lions, and then it just was a procession of events, and eventually it was a free-for-all. We support Malawi government. We came in, we put a fence around the reserve, which was the first step. And a fence is not to keep people out. A fence is there to protect people at the same time. So we had a three-pronged approach. We settled the reserve. We worked with the communities. But at the same time, we were also looking at putting in, operations which involved putting in tourism and starting to make the reserve sustainable.
Remarkably, as of 2023, there have been 0 incidents of elephant and rhino poaching. The crystal clear waters of the Shire River flow for approximately 12 kilometers through the reserve, supporting a wealth of aquatic life. Majete hosts diverse ecosystems, the Miombo woodland system to the west and the expansive savanna to the east.
Broadly speaking, Majete is a Miombo woodland-based system in the west, and in the east it shifts into more of a savanna system where you've got a tree and grass component. We have a large portion of the Shire River, about 12 kilometers, flowing through the reserve, which supports good, healthy fish populations. And then we've got another strip of land on the east bank, helping to protect our river.
Since the revival efforts began, they have successfully reintroduced over 3,000 animals from 17 species. Today, Majete is home to more than 12,000 animals, including all of Africa's Big Five. The reserve has made significant success as it now translocates animals to other parks within Malawi.
You look look at the beginning and you see a place that is desolate of animals. They've been poached out through civil wars in surrounding countries, and through commitment and effort of individuals throughout Malawi, we've managed to bring so many species back. If I look at an individual level, bringing wild dogs back in 2021, and now having so many wild dogs that we could translocate some wild dogs out of country and sort of help support wildlife populations in other countries because of our success. Our lion populations are growing, our elephant populations are growing. So many species populations are on a growth pattern, which is really rewarding to see. And I think it showcases the system as a whole and how healthy it is.
The Majete Wildlife Reserve uses modern technology like GPS tracking and aerial sensors to record the population of animals, which helps to track rescued animals such as pangolin.
We do an aerial census whereby a helicopter flies through the park in a very coordinated way. We divide it into big strips of like the land, and we fly east to west, and then we count literally every single animal that we see. And that gives us an overall estimate of our herbivore populations, so from waterbuck to impala to nyala to kudu. And then our more specific species are specifically ones that we focus on because of their ability to impact the system. We have dedicated monitoring team. So pangolins, we put tags on them, and this little tag, you're able to track them with a very high frequency tracking device. They also have what's known as LoRa, which is a network that we have set up in the park, which is able to send signals directly to a tower and give us GPS locations, so we can see them remotely on like a TV screen. We then go and check on them every couple of days and ensure that they're gaining weight in the long term. That would obviously tell us that they're getting healthy again. Other species, our other priority species, you're looking at giraffe, elephant and rhino as a herbivore component. Generally, the giraffe are monitored just on site. Whenever we see them, we take a photo. All have unique spots and we can identify them. Overall, we wanted to take the change in population growth. You're looking at rhino, we have a dedicated team of rangers. We work hand in hand with the law enforcement team, and they assist us in literally tracking these rhinos on foot every morning. We try and see all of our rhinos at least once a month. Obviously this is nature and things can be difficult, but it's the most incredible team, and they do their best. For lion, cheetah and wild dog, photos of them are good enough. For lion, we can call them and we can get them to come really close. That assists us with management of the lions, particularly in situations where a lion might break out of the park. They're still very used to the act of being called up, and so they come to a carcass. It stops us from having to intervene lethally outside in every single situation, and it also keeps communities safe from human-wildlife conflict.
Majete Wildlife Reserve stands as a beacon of community empowerment and conservation success in Malawi, proudly employing a majority of local residents. Not only does it provide vital employment opportunities, but it's also one of the most successful wildlife reserves in the country.
I challenge anybody. I think it is the premier reserve in Malawi. It's a story that reflects or resonates with people across Africa. We get people from all over coming to look at Majete and see this model, how incredibly successful we've been. We're sitting in a country now where we hear of Malunji, we hear of Machiru, and there's big challenges. Majete is the complete opposite. It's a community that's bought in completely around the reserve. I'd beg to challenge anybody to go around this community and find a percentage of the community that's against this park. Everything is done in close collaboration with the communities, and I think that's been the huge success of this park, is to know that communities out there support us and they see the benefit of conservation, and it has a big role to play in their lives and you know, in the children's lives going forward. We're seeing tourism grow exponentially. You know, last year was our record year. We made just over $700,000. This year, our target is 800,000. It's a far cry from breaking even. We have a budget of about 1.3 million a year, dollars. And at the moment, we're able to generate about 800,000 of that. But I don't think there's another conservation area in Malawi that even comes close to what we're generating. The news has got out there that we're doing well. We're getting a lot of support from the tourism industry. People have put this on their agenda and they're wanting to come visit this park and for its incredible story. Not only just to see wildlife, but to support an initiative that has really paid off. It's worked out well for everybody. We employ up to 176 people at the moment, of which I'm one of 2 expats. The rest of the staff are all Malawians that are generally from the local community and have been given a livelihood. So, you know, that in its own right is spilling over into the communities by providing a source of income for families out there.
The story of Majete Wildlife Reserve is not just about the restoration of a beloved landscape. It is a beacon of hope for conservation across the globe. It demonstrates that with resolve, ingenuity, and cooperative efforts, recovery from the brink of collapse is possible. As we reflect on this transformation, we are reminded of the vital importance of protecting our natural world, not just for today, but for generations yet to come.